What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to Witch Watch, this time with episode 9. Decent episode last week. I would say it was probably the weakest episode of the season so far for me. Second half had an interesting concept. I quite liked the first half. It was a little bit wholesome, but as a comedic episode, I don't think it was quite as good as previous comedic episodes. And as a serious episode in the first half, or slightly serious with like a cute kind of premise, it wasn't quite as touching as other episodes as well. So, like I said, probably the weakest episode so far, but still decent. But yeah, do let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you guys would like. Subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. Oh, okay. So it sounds quite similar to I mean, not in the shredding aspect, but just kind of reminded me a little bit of Violet Evergarden. A very touching episode of well, a lot of the episodes are focused on letters in that show, but yeah. Sorry, guys. Kind of took me back to a very emotional moment watching that show. There was a couple masterful episodes in Violet Evergarden. As an overall show, it was really good, but as I said, there was a couple some of the best episodes I've seen in anime. With that kind of premise of a dead person leaving letters. Yeah, I listened to the full version of the song, obviously, but I only actually recently watched the music video Yaosobi put out for it, which was good. It's quite crazy the popularity of I mean, Japan's a reasonably big country. I think it's got like 80 million people. Am I right in saying? I do just want to Google that quickly. But it's quite incredible the amount of fans that Japanese bands and singers have, considering their population, and the fact that there's not many, if any, other country that speak Japanese. Like, you can understand with like UK singers, like they can have an audience in America and Australia, or many other countries where they speak English, which doesn't usually happen or very often, to be honest with you. A lot of the time, UK artists very much stay in the UK. But it's quite incredible how Japan's at 120 million now. Okay, so yeah, it's quite incredible how a country with a language that is very specific to them has managed to go worldwide. Putting it together bit by bit. If you think about it, this is wow. That is some fucking creation. Yeah, if you think about it, this is just like a big puzzle. Put the puzzle pieces together. It's a lot more difficult, but yeah. Is it? I imagine this would grow very old very quickly. He did also destroy this letter though. Maybe it was an insulting letter or something. Can't imagine it would be, but yeah. Okay, well done. Now you just got to put them back together. Macho recovery. Nice. And nothing went wrong. Hopefully. Oh, so that's not her actual mum? Okay. So he didn't want her to find out that that wasn't her real mum. Not that he wasn't her real. Okay. I think that makes more sense. Yeah, there was a whole other letter. It really is quite incredible, this Japanese writing, isn't it? It doesn't just go. It's not just different from right to left. It's also down instead of sideways. Not sure it could be any more different. Cute little ladybug. But they really do look incredibly similar, don't they? Oh, we're really starting out like this today. Okay. And something I do really like about the show is really not afraid to just kind of stay on a serious side rather than just be putting out jokes non-stop. Okay. I will say it as a negative though. It's just like it's very condensed, isn't it? It's hard to make you feel at that emotional when it's so kind of condensed. I think if you spend a whole episode on that, it would be a lot more powerful. Again, a reference to Violet Evergarden, where it's sometimes pretty episodic. Yeah, it really makes you well up inside. But there's a difference between 22 minutes and 5 minutes, isn't there? Pretty big difference. That was nice though. That was a nice story. like I've done about as well as you could do with it being 5 minutes. I don't know. I just kind of feel like with something like that, it almost deserves to be longer. Like the subject, like it's an incredibly touching story. It doesn't feel as much touching because again we barely know the character and we just got introduced to a few of them today, and we didn't spend an awful long time with them. But it almost feels like a concept like that deserves more time. It deserves a whole episode around it to kind of feel the weight of it. Again, don't get me wrong, they've done well with what time they had with it, but again, like I said, I've seen that concept done to a degree of like Violet Evergarden, which I know is a major exception because it is a masterpiece of a show, but you've seen that concept done in about twice the amount of time, and it's like it's really affected you. And it's like this could be. I mean, it wouldn't ever be on that level, but it could be on a kind of similar kind of feeling. And it's just it's not, but it should be. I don't know. Like I said though, I'm glad that they do have these serious stuff here. It's not just joke after joke after joke after joke. Yeah, this guy is the classic mob. He's essentially the slime of the anime school anime. He does kind of talk like a bit of a foreigner, doesn't he? He also does kind of look a bit like someone from like an English cartoon or something, American cartoon. They're somewhat okay. Oh, you sorted that out yourself. What do you need help with? Oh dear. I was terrified. Well, that's the good thing about cinema. Do you need to hold a conversation? I don't know. I've always thought that cinema is not the greatest place for a date. I have took a couple girls to the cinema, and it's always just one of those ones where, as a guy that likes cinema and TV, a bit more engrossed in that than the fact that I'm on a date. It's never like it's no. I've never felt like it's gone too well. There's not really too much you can do. I don't think that's the greatest place to take someone. It's always like a pretty classic like just take them to the cinema, but you don't get too much dialogue or interaction, do you? Ugh, the absolute NPC vibes this guy gives off are horrid. And look at she's giving off NPC vibes as well. Jesus. They talk like they genuinely do talk like I would talk in Japanese. It's like very blunt sentences. Okay, good. Bet you do. And we're gonna have those. Probably for the best. Well, I guess. I wonder who's going there. Playing a bit of tennis. Old school racket he's got there. Is that her getting a yukata ready for the cinema? Like I said, he's gonna hardly be looking at it. You're watching the bloody movie. I do feel like, to be honest, the movies I have watched at the cinema with women have really not been very good. One of them was a parody of Twilight. I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, it was a parody of Twilight, and it was fucking awful, absolutely awful. Not funny. I don't think I laughed once. That was during the times when this was ages ago, by the way. That was during the times when there was a lot of parodies coming out. There was like stuff like the epic movie, superhero movie. The scary movies was on like their fourth and fifth like installments, so the shitty ones. And parodies were very much kind of dying out at that point. They were very popular during that time, like late 2000s, early 2010s. And thank God they've all kind of just like died out today. There's some really good parodies out there, don't get me wrong, but yeah, that was absolutely terrible. And then the second one I went on was one of the Paranormal Activity movies, and I thought the first one was decent, but and there was another one I think later on that was decent as well. But the one I watched, it was either two or three. Really wasn't very good. I don't think they're movies to be watched in a cinema. To be honest with you, I think they're a bit more effective at home than in a cinema. But the girl I was with was very scared. Me as a big horror fan, not very scared at all. To be honest with you, it was quite boring actually. But yeah, you can understand. You can understand how civilian, how she would. I could understand how she would be scared of that. But yeah, it wasn't too fun for me. That was another fad, the whole kind of found footage kind of era. There's some really good found footage movies as well. Just not the one I watched. Oh, you guys? I don't know if you can tell, but I've just recently woken up. True, actually. I don't want to big myself up too much, but I'm pretty damn good at poker, especially in person. I'm decent online, but online it very much is more percentage based. You got to be a bit more strict on Yeah. Whereas in person, you can read things a lot easier. I think online poker's for the mathematicians. In life poker is for the players. Well, it's almost like an interpreter. Tyler, an interpreter. Yeah, we've got to do something to get the feelings out of him. I do wonder what movies they are going to watch. Okay, nice. He's excited. Hopefully he's excited at this. If he's not, then it's a disaster. The yukata, the girl wearing yukata is the biggest moment. In a yeah. Nice. Good. Like I said, this would be the biggest disappointment if he wasn't acting like this. I think it's like I said, it's a massive thing for women when they show themselves in their yukata. Oh, okay. Indoor type. What kind of movie is indoor type then? Are they all not indoor type? Sci-fi, fantasy, suspense, emotional, rom-com action movie. So what falls under that? I mean, I guess Star Wars kind of good. Sci-fi, it's fantasy, it's suspenseful. It's got, I mean, not really for me, but it's got some kind of emotional rom-com movie moments in the prequels if you want, I guess. I didn't really feel that, but you could say that. So who we got here? No idea who these are. That's a bit Jurassic Park there, Jaws, classic, fucking absolute classic. That's Jaws. Looks like this could be like Indiana Jones, perhaps. I'm not really sure with the whole lens, but or maybe this is like a western or something. Clint Eastwood or someone like that. These guys could be anybody. Star Wars. They don't wear these helmets, but I don't know. Their guns look like barcode scanners. Skalski. Yari, tight, hold, die. Well, I had a title that sounded similar to that in my head for a moment, but I don't think so actually. Again, I'm gonna I'll put a pause like this when there is like references to be. There probably is some more I'm not getting here, but yeah, I'm gonna try to figure out like references and such because this show does do that quite often. I will pause every now and then to try and understand them. That is something I hate. I see it so much on Twitter nowadays. On every new movie that's released, people fucking taking videos and pictures of the cinema like it's okay to do. Really pisses me off. You say I'm a killjoy or whatever, but you need to abide by the laws, man. Abide by the dude, as the dude would say. Any of you guys have seen The Big Lebowski? You need to abide, man. But yeah, it's just like it's been so normalized just to see random clips of like Lilo and Stitch recently, Final Destination, Sinners. Saw so many clips of that on Twitter. Luckily, I didn't watch any of them and got to watch that myself. I had to be quick on that because I didn't want to get spoiled, so I went pretty much the same week it released. Just people seem to think it's okay to record in cinemas nowadays. Like I can understand it for the Minecraft movie when crazy batshit stuff's happening that isn't involved in the movie. They wonder why cinemas might not be doing so well. I think that's more down to the fact of streaming, though, to be honest. But yeah. I mean, I know he doesn't outwardly express these expressions, but you should know what you're feeling on the inside, bro. Why'd you got to ask? I guess he's just got to ask because he wants her to look. You know what? I can understand that. I think I'm probably quite similar, actually. That's the expression we want to see on your face right there. Yeah, let's keep it romantic. That was a nice scene there, wasn't it? Okay, nice episode. Again, not too much of a comedic episode. I don't mind the comedy of the show. Sometimes, again, I always say this, sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. This episode, again, was much more of a wholesome one, wasn't it? I think this second half was quite a bit more. Again, when you read the story, like if you see it written down, you'd think the first half would be a lot more powerful. But it turns out the second half is a lot more powerful because we care about the characters more. We've had a lot more time with them. We've seen their relationship, and yeah, like I said, on paper you'd think the first one would be a lot more impactful, but it's actually the second half that was my favourite. And I'm glad they've done more than just go to the cinema. As I said, that doesn't really breed too much room for expression or anything. So nice way to end the episode. One thing I did notice the other day, which I thought was quite strange, that the Cat Witch is actually the most popular character from the franchise, from what I saw, which I was quite surprised about, considering we've only had her in one episode. But I wonder why that is. Like, it's not so unnatural. Oh, in a magazine. Yeah, it's not totally abnormal for a side character to be a favourite in the series. I think of Levi from Attack on Titan is a very popular character. There's a lot of side characters in Attack on Titan that are very popular. Um, not sure if they're more so than the main characters, but yeah, there's that. There's Hard to think of too many off the top of my head. Hunter, perhaps. My favourite characters. He's not a side character. My favourite character is I said Karapika. Killer. He's my favourite character. I guess he could be considered a side character, I guess, but is heavily featured. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, good episode today. Again, not too much of a comedic episode. I think that has been quite a pleasant surprise for this show, that it hasn't just been comedy episode after comedy episode. We have had quite a lot of quite serious and deep moments. Again, this first half is just like slightly disappointing that it could have been like more. It could have again spent a whole episode on this and been more impactful. It was still a nice story and still pretty wholesome, don't get me wrong, but it just like it won't leave a lasting impact on me. It's just like it feels very cookie cutter kind of. We put a wholesome story in there, and that wholesome story will just be a wholesome story. It hasn't got to be more than that, but it could have been, and that potential is a little bit sad. Quite enjoyed this little middle section. I thought it was cool, these NPCs going about their business. But yeah, obviously again the massive standout of this episode was this probably this last 5 minutes or so here, with them at the fireworks and seeing the expressions of Mr. Ogre. I thought it was pretty cool and quite relatable for me. Quite a few things I did relate to in terms of how he is and how he expresses himself there. So yeah, that was this last kind of few minutes here was definitely the standout. Do let me know what you guys thought about this one though down in the comment section. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys do like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date with these though. And I'll see you guys next week with episode